stuck here. The cops won't bother me.
There's nothing like beating the coronavirus by riding a motorcycle. I would never think that riding a motorcycle would be safer than going out in public. But man, this is probably one of the few things you can do and not get a deadly virus. People around this area have gone nuts with this coronavirus. It's just kind of nutty. Absolutely insane. People are going crazy. And apparently in China it's already dissipating a bit, but I don't know if that's true or not. Man, this bike lets so much wind hit you. It makes commuting in the winter a lot harder on this one. It's like I'm getting blasted in my chest. On the V-Strom I never got blasted in my chest because of that massive fairing it has and that massive windscreen that I really liked. The FJR I just picked up has got an electric powered windscreen, and honestly I think it's a little bit too much. I think it's overkill. I don't think you need more complexities of the electrics going up and down. It's just kind of silly. This bike doesn't really feel like you want to ride it fast. It feels good as a commuter. It's got really low-end torque, which is something that a lot of people don't realize this thing has. I mean, it's a extremely decently large bike. It looks smaller in person, but it is a big bike. It's heavy like the V-Strom, but yet it feels a little bit nimbler than the V-Strom. I don't know why. It seems like the same weight, but the weight, of course, on this bike is located a little bit different. A weird feeling to it. It feels lighter. It does feel like the motor is angled forward and much lower to the ground. So it is an interesting concept that Honda has. Very easy to reach the dash. The V-Strom, it was actually like further up, so it was actually like over here. This one I can reach it just by moving my arm forward a little bit. I don't have to use my back to get to it. Right there, and just 2 buttons. Very simple dash. When you compare it to the FJR I just picked up, the V-Strom had much better dash than the FJR. The FJR is really antiquated. I love Yamahas, man. Yamahas have always been some of the most reliable bikes I've had. I put like 80,000 miles on an R1, and that bike was just insane. Like, I think I had a light bulb burn out, and that's pretty much it. The new owner of the V-Strom, Barnabas, and I'm going to see if he wants to do a local ride, and we can kind of switch bikes so I can do a back-to-back comparison. I am kind of like feeling the major differences. You know, I think the big difference with this bike is the torque is a little bit down low. I mean, it is extremely down low. So the torque of this bike is extremely different than the CB500. This definitely makes power down low, but it doesn't have any spikes of power. So normally I do like that spike of power that an inline 4 has, and compare it to the FJR. I mean, I can tell the FJR is like a beast. That goddamn thing is just like, you twist the throttle, and if you're not aiming in the right place, you're gonna go straight into a tree. But this thing, it is just kind of like, I mean, very steady power. It makes a very good commuter, and this bike is perfect for commuting. And if you want to save money, goddamn, this thing is absolutely drifty. I mean, I filled up the entire gas tank from the last bar to full with $6. I don't think I've ever done that. But of course, it's got a very small gas tank. So even though this is a 700cc bike, just in comparison to the V-Strom, it's got less power. So it's got, I believe, like 45-50 horsepower. I forgot the exact stats. The V-Strom has 60. So having a smaller displacement bike V-twin makes more power than this. And the gas tank on the V-Strom, I believe, is like 5 something, 4.9, 5.2 or something like that. And this one is like 3.2, 3.5, I forget the exact. But it's a really small gas tank on this thing. The interesting thing about this particular bike and the range is that a lot of riders that get this bike, the guys that like to do cross-country trips, they'll actually put a gas tank, an aux gas tank, in the rear passenger on top, and then because it's gravity fed, it feeds onto the rear, you know, the regular gas tank. This way the bike gets like an additional 160 range, so you can jerry rig a can if you wanted onto this bike. So this is kind of like a little bit of a rougher road. It's a little abrupt. It's perfect for dual sports, and that's why I like the V-Strom. It's like a road oriented dual sport, and it feels really good to ride. But on a sport bike, and I've ridden through here on a sport bike, let me slow down for this bridge. On a sport bike, this road, it just sends you everywhere because it's so bumpy. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm not used to the corners, so I'm kind of slowing down a bit. See, I'm like used to like twisting the throttle on the V-Strom, and it just kind of squirts me out, and I kind of like that. It's almost like a drug. But this one is just like so smooth, like a tractor, that it doesn't give you a high. And in a way, like, I'm into motorcycling because of the rush of the bike, and this one doesn't give me that rush. I mean, it's got other really good things. Oh man, it's just so rough here. I like motorcycles to get better gas mileage than a car, and a lot of motorcycles these days do not get great gas mileage. Man, when it's windy, this thing is so loud. A lot of people complain about this particular bike, but you know, this bike, it's not pretending that it's a sport bike or anything else. You see that? I'm almost like at the rev limiter just doing that. This bike doesn't pretend it's a canyon carver. It's not like a tourer. I mean, it is a very simple, direct bike. Because of the seat and the gas tank location, it doesn't make it a very good touring bike, because a lot of guys do use the seat as an additional spot to put luggage, and I would do the same. So I don't like that aspect of it. It's cool, you know, like I like quirky bikes. The NC is an extremely quirky bike. Yes, Quids, I really appreciate you guys watching the video, and if you guys have any questions, be sure to post in the comments below. And if you have any idea if I should be keeping the FJR, the NC700, or both, I don't know.